Welcome to Heartfelt with Julie Majarison, a space for honest stories, tender truths, and soul-deep conversations. I'm your host, Julie Majarison, and here we explore the questions that stir something real in us. Questions about joy, fear, healing, and the moments that shape who we are. Each episode is an invitation to slow down, go deeper, and hear the kind of stories that remind us we're not alone in this human experience. So wherever you are right now, thank you for being here. Let's begin. Welcome to Heartfelt with Julie Majarison podcast. This is a solo episode and it is episode 60. And I'm so excited that Heartfelt is still being enjoyed by the world. So thank you for listening. Today, I want to talk about a big leap of faith that I am encountering. My self-discovery journey has been about getting to know self. And with my way to happiness, it gets better and better. I saw, especially when I was recording the audiobook, about how I had lost my way for, I'm going to say, 15 years. But I'm really going to say for the first 50 years of my life, I was very much about following people's beliefs, other people's beliefs, the conditioning, looking at how society sees things. And the last 6 years, I have really been unpacking this. And I'm going to say the last year, since I started doing Heartfelt podcast and also being on social media more and using my voice, has really unearthed a lot of things that I was doing subconsciously that I didn't even realize. And now I am shining the spotlight on things consciously. And I'm so excited to say that I have decided that it is time to put my words where my mouth is. And I have said that I have wanted to travel. And I really do get very envious when I see people traveling around, and my limiting belief has held me back from being able to do that. Sure, I have been to America and Singapore and Hong Kong and Malaysia, Bali, and traveled around in spots in Australia. But really, I don't feel like I have traveled much in my 56 years. So I'm excited to say that Russell and I are going to do a lot more traveling, and starting at the end of September, we're going to pack up our car and go camping up the middle of Australia. And I'm getting goose pimples because I will really be out of my comfort zone with this. But I feel like the time has come for me to really connect with Earth more. And sleeping in a tent, I know I could be sleeping on the earth, but I will be sleeping on a blow-up mattress. I think sleeping in tent is going to give me pretty close connection to the earth, where I feel like I need to have space and time to listen to my intuition, to listen to my guides, to have that stillness, to have that quietness, to have nature surround me. And I'm so excited to see what is going to be unearthed in me when those little whispers of my guidance will turn into something louder, something clearer, and where it's going to take me and what growth is going to show up. I'm going to say in the last 6 weeks, I have really been aware of the support that is here for me on a spiritual realm. And my guides have been talking to me, and I've been able to hear them more. Sometimes it's like a shout out in the middle of the night, and it wakes me up. But that word or that phrase or that feeling is what I see as the universe giving me the opportunity to actually be guided. And through the day, I guess there's just so much noise around with life that the spiritual realm feels that they can connect with me through the night. And I do have times where I have to get up and write, and I have spoken about this, but this last week I just got given 2 words, and I knew exactly what it meant. And it was a reminder of what I knew that I wanted to do, but I hadn't got to that, and I hadn't been game enough to do that. And what it is Blissful Touch has been my business for the last 7 years. And I was told that I needed to close that down and just work through my Julie Majarison website, which still has a Blissful Touch tab in it. And but even just having Blissful Touch close it down being said to me in the middle of the night, the amount of work that that creates is something that I've had to clear out. And because I had a Blissful Touch email address, which was my main email address when I became single back 7 years ago. So I have to change. And I have been changing. I have been changing my email address over the last 2 years. So it is something that I knew had to happen, but I didn't realize the urgency. And if it wasn't for those words being told to me through the night, I wouldn't have gained that clarity, because my Blissful Touch email is due for renewal. So me being told to cut it means I have to cancel it. So that is a big step. That is a big step for me to trust those words being told to me in the middle of the night. And I must admit, I am getting better at trusting those words in the dull of the night when it's all quiet. So that has been a big thing for me to actually go, okay, the time is right. I will trust the universe. And I feel like this has been happening a lot. And for Russell and I to sit down and work about where we're going to travel and what Russell's desires are and what my desires are. And it sometimes is a bit of a ping pong game where we're going backwards and forwards, because Russell doesn't want to say what he wants because he doesn't want it to be wrong. And I keep on saying, Russell, you've got to say what you want, and then we can talk about it. Not sure why I'm getting a Zoom thing. Anyway, I think it's telling me that I have a Zoom. I've never ever had that on. So I thought I had my phone on airplane mode. But anyway, I got a little Zoom reminder. That's something new. Anyway, back to it. This travel that we're going to be doing is, I really feel it's time that we both can do what we want. Even though we're together, it's going to be about meeting Russell's desires and about me meeting my desires. That can get a little tricky when we have two people pleasers. Well, I don't think I'm a people pleaser as much as I used to be, but Russell is still in the people pleasing mode. And he now is challenged to actually feel into what he wants to do and how it looks for him, just the same as me doing what it looks like for me and coming through compromise and rather than Russell just doing what he thinks that I want and I'm just doing what I think he wants. It's about having that conversation and using our throat chakras, which is can be quite challenging for both of us. And often we have had times where we mirror one another, and it does bring up a bit of chaos. So I think this is a big learning thing for us. And I'm grateful that Russell is open to travel. He has actually done a lot of travel in his life, but this is something new and different for him. We are both pretty new to camping, and to have the car packed and to have that experience of how many clothes can we take? And I have that issue, not Russell. I certainly have that issue because I always overpack. And now that we're going to be limited to a car and a pod, it's going to have to be pretty savvy that I don't go and run out of clothes, but then also travel around with all these clothes that I never wear. And that is going to be a new learning thing for me. And also going to new locations. And my my intention is it's not really about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about trusting my intuition and getting to learn more and more about meeting my desires and feeling into my whole self. I have never had a day where I have just woken up and went, you know what? I'm just going to read a book today. And I wonder if that will show up while I'm camping, because I have a lot of books that I do want to read. Some of them are nonfiction and some of them are fiction. And to allow myself that time to just be still and enjoy the book. So I wonder how I'll go with that. I'm very much about scheduling things, and sometimes, most times, I fill my day way too much, and I don't allow that spontaneity to fill in. So that is an intention that I'm going to make. I'm going to make an intention that there'll be more spontaneity and really getting to know what self wants. And I feel that what Russell and I can often do is we do a lot of backwards and forwards going, oh, what do you want to do? Or what do you want to do? And it's like, oh, I just feel sometimes that's just a big waste of time because we're debating over something for an hour when we could have already done it. So I feel this challenge will be addressed quite a few times when we're camping, and I'm really hoping that it aligns so much better than what I feel it does now. So I am excited. I know that there has to be a lot of planning going into it, especially about how the car is packed and having to have as much as we can without having to buy when we're traveling, and seeing how it goes with. I don't think we're going to do any free camping because I very much need a shower and a toilet. But you never know, we might do some free camping. I do get a little bit scared about free camping because what'll happen if there's someone out there and they're not very good. But I know a lot of people do free camping all the time. We do have two solar shower bags that we could shower, and we do actually have a toilet, a toilet that we take. So we could do some free camping, and we are going to get some solar for our fridge, and so we can keep our phones charged and our food cold. So it's all going to be a new experience. The longest that we've camped is, I'm going to say 3 nights, and that was at a powered site, and literally it was at the coast. So it's going to be different because we're going to be in remote locations. And I'm looking forward to swimming in the natural waters. We plan on going to Darwin, Kakadu, Uluru, Katajuda, Cooper Pedy, Longreach, Winton. Not in that order. I don't even know the order of it. Well, I do, but we haven't actually really structured it fully yet because there's been a lot happening in the background. But I am excited that we have decided, and it's coming to a stage of planning. The one thing that I have noticed is last week I actually had gastro, and it wasn't pleasant. And I actually had it till day 3. And I realized how I wouldn't even allow myself to rest. I kept on still doing things in between toilet breaks. And I was like, you know what? I really do have trouble slowing down. I always wish that I could have this break, and I had 3 days where I didn't work, but I still did so much in those 3 days. And that's something that I really want to get better at not feeling guilty, better at not just having to keep on doing. I don't know if it's got something to do with when I stop, then I sleep. And does that mean my adrenals are that worn out that I'm just exhausted? Or does that mean that I was tired because I was sick? But it seems to be when I'm going, and if I stop to watch TV, then it's not long that I'm asleep. So I actually don't like that feeling, because then I feel like the day's been wasted by. There is a lot that I have to work through, and I can see it. I don't know what it looks like, but I know that this is where my focus is at the moment. So I hope you have enjoyed me sharing, and I like to talk openly about what's happening in my self-discovery journey because I feel Me using my voice and speaking out loud helps me unpack. It helps me put the pieces together like in a jigsaw. When I do go camping, I often take a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle, but I don't think I'll be able to take one this time because I don't think we'll be staying in a place for that long, and think it'll be a bit disastrous, and I'd hate to miss one piece of puzzle. So I think that won't be getting packed. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for sharing this moment with us. I hope something in this conversation stays with you, opens something up in you, or simply made you feel seen. If this episode moved you, feel free to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like to continue the journey with us, be sure to subscribe and stay connected. Until next time, take care of your heart and remember, your story matters. Thank you.